now. It's Mike Gilbert from Fight Game Media, host of Brace for Impact, and I'm going solo on that ass, but it's still the same. We're talking some Impact Wrestling, guys. This past Friday night, Impact, they had their newest Impact Plus special called Emergence, and the main event was Christian Cage defending his newly won Impact World Heavyweight Championship against Brian Myers, who won the number one contender spot in a Battle Royal on Impact a couple of weeks ago. We also had Jake something challenging Josh Alexander for the X Division title, and we had a World Tag Team title match with the Good Brothers defending their titles against Willie Mack and Rich Swann, as well as Violent by Design of Joe Doring and Rhino. We're going to keep this short and sweet, so let's get right into the show. First, we had Matt Cardona with Chelsea Green. He defeated Rohit Raju, and I've been pretty tough on Cardona in the past. I was not a big proponent of him signing with Impact. I thought that this was just another example of them pulling a guy off of Impact's or off of WWE's practice squad, a jobber from WWE Main Event, and you know what? He's proven me wrong. I think he's really finding himself on the indie scene right now, and he's also starting to really turn the corner here in Impact. I really do think that they need to turn him heel, though, if they're really going to get the most out of him. But anyway. This was a good match. We did have some distractions on the outside, but overall, I thought it was a very good opening contest. Rohit Raju is great; he's fantastic. And Cardona really worked well with him. And there was this crazy spot where Cardona came over the top, and Raju just opened the ring apron, and he just fell right through it. And I thought that was kind of sick. But the match ends with Cardona hitting his radio silence for the win, and then afterwards Shira attacked Cardona, causing Chelsea Green to get involved. And it looks like that they're not done with this. And I really hope that they're not going to go down the intergender road here. Maybe they'll do Green versus Raju, but I don't know. I'm ready for Cardona to move on to bigger and better things, and hopefully sign a full-time contract with Impact so maybe they can get behind the guy. Up next, we got Decay taking on Tasha Steelz, Savannah Evans, Falaba, and No Way. Now, this was just a complete waste of time. It was just undercard comedy. If you're going to watch Emergence and you need to skip some stuff, this is one of the matches you can skip. Now, if you got kids and you want to entertain the children, I guess you can have this match on for them. Decay are these, scary monsters, but then they come out and they're doing a lot of, kid comedy stuff. And so at one point they all ganged up on Falaba in the ring, in the corner of the ring, and they all started biting him at the same time. So if that's your thing, cool. Not for me. I really thought this was a waste of Tasha Steelz and Savannah Evans, who appear to be heels, but they're teaming with Falaba and No Way Jose, who are baby faces. So I'm not really getting this pairing. I don't really get this at all. But it looks like they're setting up for a match between Rosemary and Havoc and Evans and Steelz for the tag team titles. But I just have high hopes for Decay. I hope they're not gonna be stuck in this comedy role. They're so cool looking. They have the cool ring entrance and the awesome song that they have, and Black Taurus is an amazing wrestler, and Crazy Steve has really showed out this year. Since his return to Impact. So I hope that they do something with these guys. But it appears right now they're just they're relegated to a comedy role. Next, we got Steve Macklin defeating Petey Williams. Now, Macklin is a guy that I'm really high on. This was a showcase match for him. I thought he worked well with Petey. Petey is a legend. He's an Impact legend. I thought this was a real good match. It wasn't designed to be anything other than what it was, which was a dominant Macklin victory over Petey Williams. The only thing that I had an issue with was the way that Macklin won. Williams locked in a sharpshooter, but Macklin broke out by biting Williams, and then he followed with a low blow behind the referee's back, and then hit the Mayhem for All for the win. Now, as much as I love Petey Williams, I don't really think that Macklin needs to be cheating to beat Petey. I think that he's kind of in this badass role, even though he's a heel, and I know heels need to cheat to win, and he should cheat to win when he's facing someone of a similar caliber, and I just don't see Petey Williams at that level. I think Petey Williams was designed for Macklin to look great against Petey, and he did. I just don't think he needed to cheat to win. So I disagree with the way that they hit the finish, but still, good match overall. Next, we got Madison Rain with Neil Dashwood and Caleb with a K defeating Taylor Wilde. This was, again, not good. You see a pattern here where they open up with a good match, followed by a comedy match, go back to a good match, and then they followed up with another comedy match. But this one, was the antithesis of the women's revolution. There was just interferences the whole time, and then this was the first of an epidemic across Impact, where they're going to do the distraction roll up finish. The referee, of course, the referee is distracted. Dashwood comes in and throws Taylor Wilde into the ring post, and then Madison Rain rolls her up into the corner and gets the pin. I understand the story that they're telling. Somebody is obviously coming in to be Taylor Wilde's tag team partner, and I like the fact that they're building up that tag team division. But this was a problem on this show, where we had the same finish 3 times. Ridiculous. And then we go to the next match, which, again, another really good match. We had Ace Austin. He defeated Moose, Sami Callihan, and Chris Sabin to become the number 1 contender to Christian's championship, and he will face Christian at Victory Road coming up in September. I thought this match was excellent. I thought everybody looked great. It's your typical Impact 4-way. They do this a lot. It's kind of a booking crutch for them, but it usually works. We had Ace Austin. He won because Callihan hit Austin and Moose were there to cut him off. Moose hit 2 Uranagis on Austin and set up the lights out, but Callihan hit Moose with the chair, and then Austin roll up for the pin. So second match in a row, roll up for the pin. That's a problem. But like I said, a great showcase for Ace Austin. He looked great here. I also disagree with him pinning Moose. Maybe I just need to give up on them getting behind Moose again this year. Maybe they go back to him next year, but he lost to Rich Swann earlier in the year, and then he lost to Omega with a lot of help. I get it, but he lost to Omega, and then he loses to Sabin. Get this, on a roll up, and then now here he is getting pinned by Ace Austin. I just don't know what their plan is with Moose, but I'm not liking it. And as you guys know, I'm a big proponent of Moose, and I really think that he should be the champion. But yeah, Ace Austin will challenge Christian at Victory Road. Next, we go to X Division champion Josh Alexander in an absolute awesome match against Jake Something. It was all about power versus technique. And for the first time since winning the X Division, Something was Alexander's biggest opponent. So the whole idea of the match was, Jake Something's this huge hoss and Josh Alexander's this ring technician. And how is he going to be able to overcome such a big guy like Jake Something? Because he's been normally wrestling guys like Ace Austin, Chris Bay, Trey Miguel, and of course his classic with TJP. So, but Alexander, he ends up getting the victory here. Jake Something's ankle was busted, but he still managed to powerbomb Alexander, but not pin him. Alexander came back, kicked his leg out, hit the C4 spike, one of my favorite finishers in pro wrestling right now, and he defeats Jake Something in a fantastic match. And then the two embrace and shake hands afterwards, and I thought that was a cool moment, and it really, you can actually get elevated in a loss, and I think that's what happened with Jake here, and I hope that they continue to get behind this guy and maybe get him a world title match in the future. I don't think his promos are up to par to be leading the company, but I think that they should keep him strong. The next match, we got Deonna Purrazzo and Matthew Raywald, a.k.a. Aiden English, and he's also being called Matt Morris on New Japan Strong right now, so he's got an identity crisis, but that's what life is, right? They defeated Trey Miguel and Melina. Look, I'll be honest, this was not good either. Again, it's another palate cleanser. It was just a kind of a throwaway match to promote NWA's Empower show. When Miguel and Aiden English or Ray Walt were in the ring, they were really good, but Melina is just not up to par. Her skills just aren't there, so and Purrazzo could not make her look good. And so if you're looking forward to Empower, and I think that you should be, Melina versus Purrazzo is not going to be one of those good matches that's on that show, unfortunately. Melina just ain't got it, man. And look, she was never a full-time wrestler. She was a manager when she was at her peak fame. So I don't know what they were expecting out of Melina, but she ain't got it, man. Next, we go to the Impact Tag Team Champions, the Good Brothers. They defeated Violet by Design of Joe Doring and Rhino, and Rich Swann and Willie Mack. Again, this match was okay. If you guys read my column on fightgamemedia.com, I put this in the miss column, and it was not because of the action during the match. It was because, again, this was the third match of the night where they had a distraction roll-up finish. And I was looking forward to this match because of the awesome Joe Doring Doc Gallows match from Impact this past Thursday. And I was hoping that we'd get a really good follow-up. And we just really didn't. They went at it a little bit, and then they cooled it off, and then we never really saw them go at it again. And then, Rhino just gets rolled up by, Carl Anderson later in the match, and then it's over. And now the story is, it looks like Violent by Design is going to be turning on Rhino. They're already teasing that, which makes me think that Heath Slater's coming back, and so that's cool. That'll add another team to the division. It does make me wonder who they plan on replacing Rhino in that group with, or do they just keep it a trio with Young, Doring, and Diener? But if they do that, Diener's really the only guy that's going to be losing in that trio, so maybe they bring in another guy. I don't know. Maybe they do another tag team. I wouldn't really care for a tag team of Doring and Diener. That doesn't appeal to me. I thought Doring and Rhino was a cool team because they're two beasts, but we'll see. I think there's a lot of interesting things at play here with that. But again, match overall was a miss because I just didn't like the finish. I thought it was just lazy. They really need to get a handle on this stuff in Impact. It's like somebody has to know before the show starts that, hey, did you guys realize that we had 3 different matches all with the same finish or a variation of the same finish on the show? Let's clean that up a little bit. Finally, we get to the Impact World Champion Christian Cage defeating Brian Myers to retain the title. This was a good match. Myers is a really good wrestler, and as you guys know, I was not a big fan of him having the spot, and I don't really like the fact that Impact was treating this show as a throwaway show because we are spending money on these shows. It costs us $7.99 a month for Impact Plus, or if you're a YouTube Insider or Impact Insider subscriber on YouTube, $4.99 a month. So I think that when you're taking people's money, you really should give them your best, and they didn't do that here. I thought that Myers being in this spot, considering his position on the card, usually, and the fact that he's more of a undercard comedy guy, I just didn't really feel like he was should have been in this spot. We all knew the outcome as soon as the match was booked, and there was nothing really going to change our mind. And look, predictability in wrestling is okay. However, there was no seeds of doubt at all. At one point, Myers did hit a spear, which, going back to the relationship with Edge, Myers was an Edge head, right? And Christian was Edge's, kayfabe brother. So Myers hits him with the spear. They did get a near fall of that. I think the small amount of fans in the arena, they did pop for that, but I watched it and I was like, yeah, that ain't happening. So Cage made his comeback. He had all the greatest hits, punches the corner, second rope back elbow, the rope snapped to the floor, and finally chased the kill switch, but released it to counter Beal, leaving himself open for a spear by Myers for a 2 count. That was that big spot. Then there was a tilt-a-whirl DDT from Cage for a near fall and tried to follow with a kill switch, but Myers countered. Myers set up the roster cut, which is his terrible lariat that he uses even though Joe Doring does it, and he does it 50 times better. But Cage caught him with the spear and then hit the kill switch for the win. Good match, 3 stars. Not the best match on the show. That distinction goes to Jake Something and Josh Alexander. Surprise, surprise. The 4-way match with Ace Austin, Chris Sabin, and Sami Callihan and Moose. I think that's another match that you guys should go out of your way to see. Other than those 2 matches, there's not really much here on this show. A fun show overall. They had a good opener. Petey Williams and Macklin was good. This match was the 3rd best of the night, I would say. And then you had the 4-way, and then, of course, the Jake Something and Josh Alexander match. If there's one match to see, that's the one that's it. So, I think it's worth a watch if you're a hardcore Impact fan, but if you're just a guy looking to see a a good match or two, you're going to find that here. It was a loaded weekend with Ring of Honor had shows, WWE had all their shows. You had Rampage on Friday night with AEW. You had NXT Takeover last night. I would put Alexander versus Josh, or Josh Alexander versus Jake something, on par with some of the best matches of the weekend. Not the best. I think that distinction is going to go to Walter and Ilya Dragunov, but probably your third or fourth best match on a weekend that had a lot of really good matches. So take that for what you will. But anyway, hey, that's going to do it for me. What I want you guys to do right now is to go to patreon.com/fightgamemedia and check out our show, man, Brace for Impact. It comes out every Friday. It's me and JD Oliva. We recap Impact, a couple hours after the show is over. You can also get, we talk Joshi on that network. We got MMA, boxing, AEW, Japan, WWE. We do classic WWE, modern WWE. We do all that stuff. $2.99 gets you in the door. There's some more premium content for $7.99. Join our Facebook group and then hit the subscribe button on this YouTube channel and share the videos, man, and let everybody know you're coming to get the cool content. But hey, that's going to do it for me, everybody. Peace.